been on strike, and last week the actors joined them.
Now, with the actors on strike, we saw a very steep decline.
Hollywood is at a standstill this morning. Actors joined screenwriters this week on the picket line. Joining us now, Jason Ivany. He is the founder of Ambient Plus Studios here in Atlanta, which is used for TV shoots and music videos and commercials and weddings too.
Dr. Annie Cornell, Chief Clinical Officer at Chris 180, says these incidents remind everyone how dangerous the job is. In these moments, she encourages officers to seek out resources and talk to someone about how they're feeling, saying it's okay to not be okay. She also applauds departments who have mental health professionals already in place.
And we always encourage after any incident, talk about it, get help. There are lots of resources. We know that trauma affects your brain. We know that trauma affects your responses in the next day, in the next.
There's a new mental health facility in Lawrenceville.
Health organization Chris 180 opened the facility today. It expands the group's presence in Gwinnett County. It will provide children, adults, and families who have experienced trauma an opportunity to change their lives. The facility will provide services including therapy and child-parent psychotherapy.
An Atlanta-based organization that helps victims of trauma is expanding its reach. Chris 180 opened a new facility today in Lawrenceville.
New at 5 o'clock, a new mental health facility opened today in Lawrenceville that will provide care to youth and young adults. This is an expansion of Atlanta-based nonprofit Chris 180.
About this all new at 4, a popular high school construction program found itself without an instructor a week before the new school year. But thankfully, a local nonprofit stepped up to keep this program on track. The nonprofit Construction Ready, alongside team members at McCarthy Building Companies, are filling in as teachers for the hundreds of students participating at Roswell High School's construction program. So this program prepares students for careers in construction and skilled trades.
An urgent call for more construction workers as companies struggle with understaffing during a building boom that has happened here in our state.
Atlanta News First reporter Abby Kastouris finds the field is offering new incentives for people who are looking for work.
The demand for these new construction workers is high. According to a report from the Association of General Contractors, 91% of Georgia construction companies are struggling to hire workers, and it's causing delays for projects like roads, bridges, and other skate.
Construction is not hard, as long as you just pay attention and be safe. You can rock on as far as you want to go, Scott.
Yeah, there are 5 Gen Z candidates hoping to serve under the dome across the street from us here. 3 running for the House, 2 in the Senate. Emory University law professor Dr. Alicia Hughes says it's more like Gen Z, sometimes known as Zoomers, has taken the torch.
Leaders don't wait for someone to christen them leaders. Leaders are born.
Across Georgia tonight, a judge rules Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis must turn over documents related to her election interference case aimed at President-elect Donald Trump and others.
Jonathan Nash says it could perpetuate something Trump has been saying for years.
There have been suggestions by the former and now incoming president that there's been coordination with the Department of Justice, with local prosecutors, including in Fulton County.
And now to this. Over the weekend, a Trump defense attorney renewed calls to dismiss the Fulton County election interference case against the president-elect.
We say things are unprecedented. This one, that's quite literally true. There is no precedent in any court in the United States on point to handle this.
Swiping your credit card this holiday season, make sure your interest rate hasn't changed. Dozens of the largest U.S. retailers and their bank partners jacked up rates on their store branded cards, some by a full 6 percentage points.
After borrowing, and you have to pay attention to the credit card interest rate before you start charging.
Welcome back. Right now, we are in the thick of the holiday shopping season, and that rush can also be a ripe opportunity for thieves trying to take advantage of the hustle and bustle that we see.
That you and I all notice is items that are behind a case, behind a counter. Now I have to wait.
Douglas Bowman, professor of marketing at Emory University's Goizueta Business School, says it's tricky because what retailers don't want is employees or customers feeling nervous in their stores.
It's busy times, right? And all these events, they will mean major money for all of Metro Atlanta.
All right, Tom, so the city, North Georgia, we've been preparing for events like this. What have we done? Why are we more ready than other cities right now?
Well, I mean, I think that the mayor has worked really hard with the governor to make it a business-friendly environment. I mean, we have made some infrastructure improvements. We've got lots of hotels that are ready to go. There's lots of restaurants, amazing restaurants. It's become incredibly pedestrian-friendly, much more pedestrian-friendly. So I think the city has made sure that they are ready to host these events, and they've proven it in the past.
Yesterday was Earth Day, and Warner Robins Church spoke about making it their mission to be more energy efficient. All Saints Episcopal Church is one of hundreds of congregations. The nonprofit Georgia Interfaith Power and Light help make more energy efficient.
Cicadas are emerging earlier than expected. Experts say that's because of climate change. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole is live for us now. And Andy,
Broke 64 degrees. That is the sweet spot for the often annoyingly loud insect. You see, they lay their eggs underground and they wait.
Cicadas do not really harm the plants. It's not like they're coming out and eating all the plants or anything like that. They just are coming out to do their own thing.
Okay, if you see a bunch of people walking around looking a little differently today, it's because MomoCon 2024 is about to kick off. It is a party for these people. Tens of thousands of people are expected to be here in Atlanta. It's a weekend of gaming, music, costumes, obviously, so much more.
Well, take a look at this video here. This is what it looks like inside right now. This is just the setup. So again, it's going to be more packed and busier when you go inside. And
tens of thousands of people have descended upon Atlanta for MomoCon, a celebration of anime and animation, comics, and gaming.
MomoCon will take place over the next 3 days at the Georgia World Congress Center and Omni Hotel. A slew of celebrity guests are expected to attend. Promoters predict more than 50,000 people will turn out.
Joining me now is someone that knows about movies, Renee Cooper. You help organize MomoCon over here, and you've got an alternative personality today. Who are you today?
So I'm cosplaying as Ragatha from the Amazing Digital Circus.
Outside, one of the things, yes, this is anime here. We got the cosplay, but another thing is the e-gaming. That's a huge part of this convention as well.
Yes, so one thing about MomoCon, we have the second largest gaming floor in the country, the largest in the Southeast, and that does
get hydrated. Those are the things doctors say are critical in this extreme heat.
We're very concerned about heat injury.
Dr. Cecil Bennett says people need to know their limits when working outside for an extended period of time.
I would always recommend wearing clothes that breathe very well, taking frequent breaks, and again, hydrating.
At the start of next year, Medicare will no longer reimburse doctors for some telehealth visits, forcing patients to go back to clinics or not go at all.
Dr. Cecil Bennett says it'll cost more in the long run.
Seniors need physical therapy. Now, you can imagine that physical therapy usually you have to go to once or twice or 3 times a week. Someone who has immobility, someone who doesn't have access to transportation, where they're going to find the resources.
The CDC has reduced the recommended isolation period for people with COVID, making the guidelines uniform with the flu and RSV.
We have already natural immunity or immunity via vaccine. So if we should get COVID, we see that hospitalizations are decreased dramatically, ER visits are decreased dramatically, death numbers are decreased dramatically.
Well, Georgia is number 2 in the Southeast for electric vehicle sales, just behind Florida.
But over 85 to 90% of charging is done at home. Most people are charging their electric vehicles in their home, and they're driving less than 30 miles to their office or school, and then they're driving home.
Tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles will nearly quadruple under a new plan scheduled to be released by the Biden administration next week.
Making strategic tariff and trade policy issues to enable that work to be done here, to create these Georgia jobs, to create these American jobs, we believe is a good policy.
And Atlanta area nonprofits helping other nonprofits save money through sustainability.
We work to make buildings more efficient and use less energy. which reduces your cost.
I'm really excited to have had their team with us throughout this process of helping make this building the most environmentally sustainable that it could possibly be.
Christmas came a bit early for the city of Smyrna. The city recently closed on a deal to purchase 9 downtown acres belonging to a church with the hope it can be used to expand its downtown.
Downtown Smyrna might not get some of the hype that other downtowns in Cobb County get, but this small-spirited area is ready to grow.
Walls and all of those kind of things, they spend a lot of time doing that.
Today in Austell, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation broke ground on a new residential facility for homeless veterans.
The new facility is located on the site of a former Wingate Hotel near Six Flags Over Georgia. And the effort is being spearheaded by Tunnel to Towers, which is a nonprofit dedicated to supporting veterans.
A huge step forward in Cobb County this morning to help Metro Atlanta's homeless veterans. A long-abandoned hotel in Mableton will be converted into a veterans village. Channel 2's Barrett Peterson found out up to 100 vets will be moving in when it's all done.
Paul Weiser says they are all owed a debt, and he is proud to help pay.
Welcome to the next edition of our 4 Questions Journalist Spotlight. We are talking today with Sammy Purcell.